Hello guys, in this video we'll build a music player desktop application with Next.js and Rust. The stack for this video is Tauri for desktop development, Next.js for frontend, and Rust we'll use for the business logic to play, pause, and different other features of our music player. Along with building a feature-rich music player, we'll also cover state sharing among Tauri commands. So on my YouTube channel previously, we have built Tauri commands, but we have never shared the state across the command or manage the state in Rust for Tauri commands. So we'll cover that concept and then playing songs and managing a complete music player in Rust. So let's begin. So open the Project Explorer and make sure you are in a nice and clean directory. Open the terminal. Now we'll be using Yarn as the package manager for this video. If you don't have Yarn installed on your machine, I'll share a link to the installation guide. You can follow it depending on which OS you are using and install Yarn on your machine. Once you have Yarn installed on your machine, you can just do Yarn create next app use Yarn. And here we can give the project name. So I'll just stick with the default, my app. And yes, I would like to use TypeScript. Yes, ESLint. No, I would not want to use Tailwind CSS. And yes, src directory, app router, import alias. So once the repo is initialized, we'll just close this. And as you guys can see, the project is added. First of all, we'll move to tsconfig.json, and here we'll move all the way down. Along with excluding the node modules, we'll also exclude src Tauri, which will be our Rust or cargo project, which we'll add in a minute. And then close this file, move to nextconfig.mjs, and here we'll add output as export, and then we'll close this file. Then open your terminal and move to my app directory. So as you can see, we are not in my app directory, so move to your app, and here we'll just do yarn add dev dependency as Tauri apps CLI. So once this is added, the dependency, then we'll just do yarn Tauri init to add the Rust project. So here as the app name, we'll say let's say music player. The title of the window will just say music player. Yes, and just keep everything else as default since we are just building in the development environment. So once we have our Rust project, as you can see, src Tauri, then we'll close our terminal and readme, and let's first of all go to our front end side and add our component. So we'll add a components directory in our project, and inside components we'll add a music player module.css and a music player.tsx. So let's build our component first, the front end side, and then we'll move to Rust where we'll add our Tauri commands. So first of all, we'll add use client because it's a client side component, and then we need interface. So we'll just do interface song and title as string. Then we'll add the component so as a functional component, so const music player react dot fc, and so we'll just add const songs set songs use state and song empty array. So what we'll do is as soon as we open our UI, we'll execute or invoke a Tauri command to get all the song names, which will display in the song list, and then whichever user wants to play, they can click on the song, will play that song, and then there will be few commands like increase the volume, decrease the volume, or play, pause. So const current song and set current song, use state and song or null, and we'll initialize it with null. Similarly, we'll add const is playing, set is playing is equals to use state as false. Initially the state is set to false, and const volume set volume, use state, and initial volume we set to 100%. Now we'll add a few use effect. So first of all, we'll just do async function fetch songs and const song list song await invoke. So let's add the dependency for using invoke. So we'll open our terminal and move to our app and just do yarn add Tauri apps API. So once the dependency is added, now we can use invoke, and we'll pass the command name. So we'll name the command as get songs, and this gets a song list, which we'll just call send songs to set in the state, and fetch song. This is all for fetch song. Similarly, const play song, async song, and await invoke play song, and pass the title song.title, and set current song as the song that is playing, and set is playing to true. Similarly, we'll add another command which is pause. So const pause song async, and we'll just do await invoke, just pause the song which is playing. And since we'll be managing a state on Rust side as well, so we know which song is right now getting played, so we don't need the title of the song to pause. And set is playing to false. And then we have change volume. So change volume async event react, now change event, and HTML input element, and right here we'll just do const new volume and parse the int event.target.value 10, and considering the max value as 100, we'll just normalize it in the range of 0 to 1, because on Rust side we can only set the volume between 0 to 1 in the dependency that we'll be using. So then we'll set volume as new volume and await invoke set volume and vol as normalized volume. At the end we'll return the UI, so return, and also let's export, so export default and mp3 player. Now let's add the part which is basically our UI. So first of all, we'll move to music player module.css and add all the CSS. Now I'll drop this in the description in the assets so you guys can copy, because no point, as I always say, no point wasting time on writing CSS. And move to music player, let's import it. So import styles from, this will allow us to use the styles in the module, in the component. So let's add the UI part, and right here we'll just add div class name as styles.container, and then we'll add a div which is class name as song list, and then we'll add a h1 saying music player, and we'll add the list and populate the list. So songs.map song, and populate the list. So we'll use the key as song.title, and on click we want to play the song, so we'll just call play song and pass the song, and then we'll set span with song title, and once we have the span, just do current song title is equals to song.title and is playing. Then we want to display the dots for that, so we'll just do span, and once we have our list populated from the song list div, out we come, and we'll just do current song and div, and right here we'll just add class name as styles.controls, and then we'll use h2 now playing current song.title, whichever song we are playing will just show we are playing this song, and is playing. If we are playing the song, then we want to display a button. On click we want to call pause song, and we basically add a pause button. And if we are not playing, then we want to add a button that says play, and on click we play the song, which is the current song. So this adds the behavior of pause and play, and let's add this in a separate brackets. And finally we need the slider for volume. I'll just stick with the basic UI. You guys can add fancy components if you want, and type as range and minimum as 0, maximum as 100, and value as volume, and on change we want to call change volume. That's all for the input component. And this, so let's use the same div for this too, and move all the way down. Here we close. So there is an extra closing. Let's remove this, and that's all that we need for our front end side or the component. Now final step, move to page.tsx and let's use our component. So pretty simple, we'll just move everything what is already here and just remove it, and we'll use our music player. That's all we need to expose our component. Now we'll move to src main and add the Tauri commands for our commands, which is get songs, play song, pause song, and set volume. So let's go to the Rust part. First of all, let's add our dependencies. So move to the project explorer and go to cargo toml file. Here, move all the way to the dependencies, and we'll add along with serde.json, serde and Tauri, which are added by default when we added the project. We'll just add rodeo, which is a very rich dependency and basically will help us with all the commands that we want to perform for our music player, all the features. And we'll add Tokyo for async programming, version latest, and features as full. Now we have our dependencies, and before we start writing our Tauri commands, go to Project Explorer and add an assets directory. Inside assets directory, add the songs that you want to play. All common formats like MP3, WAV, and different other formats are supported with Rodeo. I'll drop a link to the documentation for Rodeo. You guys can check out for all other features that you want to support or all other file types that you want to add. Now this directory could be anywhere on your local machine or cloud, but since our focus is mainly on developing a music player, so I keep it inside my Project Explorer. The files, that's the songs. You can even keep on CDN or even on cloud storage, wherever you prefer, because I've already covered in different videos how to read from cloud storage. So let's go ahead and add the Tauri commands now. So move to Project Explorer and add a model.rs in your src. Here we'll add the model, which is same as the one we had on front end, which is song. It's serializable, so drive serialize, and then we have pub title as string. Back to main.rs. Now here we'll add our app state, so we'll just say pub struct app state, current song, mutex, optional, arc, and sync, which is from Rodeo. So we have to make this shareable across the threads, hence we are using mutex. And why it's optional? Because sometime we might not be playing any song. And sync is from Rodeo, the object which help us perform all the operations like play, pause, increase, decrease the volume, and different other. Basically it's your current song object from Rodeo. Now let's add our commands. Actually we don't need it public because we'll add our commands here. So fn get songs, which returns a vector of song. Again, we might not focus on code cleaning in this video because the focus is to learn the concept of Tauri. So we'll just focus on that instead of layering our code and different other concept of clean coding. So MP3 file, or you can say music files, as a vector new, let entries will read the directory, and move back to assets, unwrap, and for entry and entries, let entry is equals to entry dot unwrap, path is equals to entry dot path, and if path dot is file, if it's a file, then we'll have if let some file name path dot file name, and if let some file name str file name dot to str, and once we have it, we'll just add the song object with title as file name str dot to string, and then we'll push to music files dot push, and we'll push this song. So music file is basically our vector, and once we have our music files, we'll just return the music files. So this is basically, we are reading all the file names from directory, all the song names from directory, and will display on the UI. Now let's add play song. So we'll move all the way down and fn play song title string and state from Tauri, then the lifetime placeholder and arc app state. Then we'll just format the path relative to the base directory, which is this one. We can copy it and paste it right here and pass our title. Let state is equals to state dot inner dot clone. Now since we want to keep our UI free while we'll play the song, so we'll just do thread spawn and move and basically do everything inside the thread. So right here we'll just add let file match file open, pass the path, and if it's a OK file, then we just pass the file, and if there is any error opening the file, then we can just eprint that error. So we'll just say eprintln error opening file path and exception, and then return. So once we have our file, we'll create the stream handle match output stream try default OK, and output as output, otherwise error as error, and again eprintln error initializing output stream, and then return. So we have our stream. Let sync match sync try new and pass the stream handle and OK of sync. Then we'll just do arc new sync, else in case of error and creating sync and return. So we have our sync. Now we'll add decoder. So decoder new and buff reader new, pass the file OK of source, and sync.append source. But if it's any error, then we'll just do println error decoding audio file and return. Then once we have this, we'll just go ahead and set the app state. So mutable current song and state dot current song dot lock dot unwrap. If we are already playing some song and now we want to play a different song, then first of all we'll just do current song and current song dot basically the current song, and we'll just do current dot pause, and then we'll send current song dot some sync dot clone. So why we do this is to set the app state, and let's say you play a song and then you go to another song and play another song. So we want to pause the already playing song and then play another song for a pleasant experience. And once we have this, we'll just do sync dot set volume, because initially the volume might be low, so we want to set to 1.0. And if you want to see what each function does in sync, you can just hover over the function to get basically the documentation of what's the ranges, what's the expected input, what's the expected output. And then we'll just do sync dot sleep until end, sleep until this song ends, otherwise the thread will end. So we have to sleep until the song ends. This is literally all that we need to do to play the song. But before we forget, let's scroll all the way top and add this as a Tauri command as well. And then fn pause song, just pass the state. Let's copy it instead of rewriting everything. State, and then similarly add Tauri command before we forget. So let mutable current song state dot current song log unwrap, and if let some ref sync and start current song, then we'll just call sync dot pause. Similarly, we'll add the set volume. So just rename this to set volume, and here we'll just get a wall from our component. As you guys can see right here, we pass the wall. So man and wall as u32, and instead of sync dot pause, we'll just do sync dot set volume to wall. Actually we need f32. That's all that we need to do for set volume. So we'll just stick with 3 features, which is increase and decrease the volume, pause and play the songs, and show the song list. But if you want to experiment around different other features, like there is set speed, so you can basically increase and decrease the speed as well. So you can experiment with that as well. And now we'll just expose our commands. So default and manage arc new, and just add app state and current song mutex new. Initially, as I mentioned, will start with none, no song playing. And once we have our manage, we'll just add invoke handler, Tauri generate handler, and pass get songs, play song, which is basically all the Tauri command function then that we have. For example, pause song, and finally we have set volume. So that's all for the coding part of our application. Now let's go ahead and get a demo. So open the terminal and make sure to move in your directory, app directory, and here we'll just do yarn Tauri dev. So here is the first look of our music player, nice and clean, all the songs that we have in our directory. And let's say I press beep.play. Pause it and let's reduce the sound, increase the sound, and while beep is playing, let me play another song. So there you go. It's working nice. Everything up and running. And I can increase the sound. Okay, so I know it's pretty basic, but as you guys can see, we are able to create a desktop application which is basically a music player. Now what I want you guys to do is add the speed feature as well, and if you don't like this UI, then create a new UI and let me know. How do you find this video? Drop down the comments below. I'll happy to help if you have any queries. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you.